In this video, I'm going to do a live overview on how to use Goodflow.io. So the first thing you need to do is log in. So I've already got an account and I've already created a workspace. So you would need to click create a workspace. So I'm going to select my workspace that I've already created. And now you can see on the left hand side, you've got tasks, you've got performs, you've got your workflows, and you've got reports. So the first thing we need to do is create a workflow. So we then can choose from a template or we can start from scratch. We then need to give the workflow a name. So I'm going to call it demo and select create. We then have to create stages for our workflow. So to do this, we click add stage, which is on the bottom left hand side. So I'm going to create just a very simple one. It's going to have about 9 or 10 stages. So we give it a name. So I'm going to call it cold call to customer. So this gives you your first stage, and as you can see, because it's the first one, it automatically gets assigned with a start stage, because obviously the workflow has to start and end somewhere. So now I'm going to create some more stages. So I click add stage again, and I'm going to call this one no answer, and click add. I'm then going to add another one and email the customer information and call them back, and then click add. So now I'm going to add another stage. I'm going to add about 9 or 10 in total, so I'm just going to speed up this this stage of the video because you obviously know now how to add stages. So I'm going to pause it and then come back once I've got them added. So now that I've added my 9 or 10 stages, we need to actually sort them out because at the moment it's not much of a workflow. So to do this, we simply select on the first stage. So I've got the cold call to customer, and we need to select the stages that are going to go directly underneath this. So for this one, it's going to be no answer, email the customer information and call them back, and the customer purchased. So now you can see it's starting to look a bit more like a workflow. So now we need to say, so if they haven't answered, we want the callback stage to go underneath that. And then if they requested more information and then a callback, we need to send the information and then call them back. If they've purchased it, we need to send them the product. And then once we've sent them the product, so we select that, we need to email them for a review request. So now you can see it's looking a lot more like sort of a very basic workflow. We've also got the customer not interested, so that's likely to go here. There. So this is a basic workflow, but now we can make it look a little bit more advanced by adding some more options. So if when we call them back, they are either going to be not interested or they might actually purchase it. So therefore we select the customer purchase tab, and now you can see it's starting to look a little bit more advanced there. So again, that would be the same here. So if they didn't pick up again, so once we've called them back, they might not answer the phone. So therefore we select no answer, and now we've got a loop. So we call the customer, they don't answer, so we call them back, and now we could go back up here, they might not answer again, and you can set conditions to how many times you would call them back, and then they're either not interested or they've purchased. So this is sort of looking a bit more advanced here. So now what we can do is add tasks. So the way that we add a task is we select, let's select the cold call to the customer. So once we've selected that, you can see on the left hand side we've got all of our stages, and underneath each stage it says add a task. So when you add a task, the first thing you need to do is give the task a name. So let me go ahead and name that now. So I've named my task cold call outcome. So then you select enter. So now we've got a task in the cold call to customer stage. So we can click on the task and we're brought to this screen here where you can edit the name here. You can assign it to team members if you have added team members, and you can also change the stage here. So you can drag it around, but you can also select it from here. So now we're going to add some fields to the task. So this gives you the option to add form fields, but you can also add instructions. So you can embed a video, you can add some text. So for this example, I'm just going to add some text. So this is support text. So this would obviously be instructions on how to complete the task if you had team members. We can then select here to add some more options. So for this, I'm going to do single choices. So now I've added a label, which is the name for this task. The ID was populated automatically, and these are my three options. So the no answer, email information, or the customer purchased. So now I click on add the fields. Here we can set it to required. So this will force the user, or me in this case, to answer the question before it allows you to move to the next stage. So now if we was to go back to our workflow, we now have a task set in this area here. So what this allows us to do is add conditions. So you can see under each stage we've got add conditions. So to get to the customer purchase stage, let's add a condition. So we're going to click add condition. We're going to select the field that we just added, which was the task, and then we're going to put is equal to, and then we're going to put customer purchased, and we're going to press add. Then we're going to go to the customer requests more information stage, and we're going to add a condition to that. And again, that's going to be equal to email information. And we're going to click add, and then we're going to put the no answer. We're going to put a condition there, and we're going to put that's equal to no answer. So now what this will allow us to do, in fact, I'm going to show you at this stage just so you have an idea of what it looks like. So we're going to publish the workflow and press publish. Once you publish it, you then need to close it down. So here as well, so this is what they call performs. So this is the workflow. So I don't actually like the name performs, but it gives you the option here to change it. So I'm going to call it a lead, just to help it fits my business a bit better. And now you can see in the top right hand side, rather than it saying performs, it says lead. So I'm going to add a new lead. So this is going to be a call to Mike. So I'm calling Mike, and there's the instruction. So this is where the support text is going to be. You can also embed a video. You've got a timeline here on the right hand side, and you have a comment section here. So we can add any comments if we had any team members. And up here is the important section. So this actually shows you what stage we're at. So we're at the cold call to customer stage, and let's try and move to another stage. So let's move to no answer. See, it doesn't let us because we haven't met the conditions. So let me press customer purchased, and again I'm going to move to no answer, but again it won't let me because we set them conditions. So now I'm going to select customer purchased, and now we've moved over to the customer purchased section. So hopefully now you understand what them conditions do. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the workflow. So to do that, we're going to press that one there, and we're going to click edit flow at the top right there. So click edit flow. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to add in a couple more tasks just so there's some more information for me to fill out. So I'm going to go down the purchase route. So I'm going to add some tasks here. So customer purchase. So I'm going to select the customer purchase. I'm going to add a task here, and I'm going to call it task check payment. So this is going to prompt me to check whether the customer's actually paid for the product. So now I'm going to add a single choices form field. I'm going to label this one payment received with the ID of payment received, and the option is yes. I'm not going to have a no option for this because I'm only building a very basic flow just to show you, and I'm going to put this as required. And now I'm going to go back to my workflow, and I can now set another condition here, which so it won't allow me to send to the product unless payment received is equal to yes. So this will stop me from sending the product unless I've received the payment. Now what I'm going to do is show you the powerful automations and triggers tab. So to start the triggers, we have to select triggers at the top, and then we have to add a new trigger. So for this, we want to set the trigger to trigger when we complete a task. So the task that we want to complete is we'll do the call outcome, because we've only got 2 tasks on this workflow at the minute. So we're going to do the call outcome. We're going to set a condition. So if the call outcome field is equal to customer purchased, we then would like to move to the next stage. This is where you can use webhooks, and this is where you can send an email But on this demo, I'm just going to move to the next stage. Sending an email is actually very easy. You literally select email and then you fill out the information here and it sends the email. But as far as I can see, there's no way to sort of customize the from email address, so it's actually coming from Goodflow's email. So this would be more for internal emails rather than emails to your customers. But I guess you could always use webhooks if you wanted to sort of go a bit more advanced with that. But for this demonstration, I'm going to click the move stage one, and the stage it's going to move to is the customer purchase stage, because that's what we want after the cold call outcome condition is customer purchased. So once you've set that trigger up, we press add, and now it's very important you click publish this trigger. You have two options. You can update the existing performs, or what I've now renamed leads, or you can just do with the new one. So I'm going to just update them all. And now once you've clicked update, you can press cross off here. We can go back and add a new lead. So this time I'm going to do a call to Sam. So now what we can see here by looking at the top, I'm currently in the cold call to customer stage. So now once I click on the customer purchase tab, before I had to go up here and then manually move it, but now I won't. So once I've clicked this, I click mark as done. So what should happen is this should really automatically take me to the next stage. It should sort of do a refresh, but I don't think it's working correctly at the moment. So what you have to do is you have to refresh it, and note as well that I'm on the call to customer stage, but once I refresh it, it's now moved me to the customer purchase stage. But again, I do have to just click it there at the top. But I did speak with the founder and he is aware of this, and I think that is something they're working on. But for me, it's not really a problem. I can just click refresh. So now again, it's taken me through to the next stage where I can then add more automations, more conditions, and it just keeps everything very, very organized. So far we've looked at the triggers and the conditions. So now what I'm going to do is show you the reporting. So for this, I'm just going to pause the video and I'm going to add on a few more leads, just so then I can get a better looking report. So now that I've added in loads more leads, it's going to make our report look a little bit nicer. So to create a report, you go on to the menu on the left hand side and you select create report. So the first thing we need to do is give this a name. So I'm going to call it leads. And now we need to choose a workflow. Well, I've only got one workflow, so I'm going to select demo workflow. And we need to choose the output style. So for this, I'm going to choose a pie chart, but you can actually change this. And now we need to select the data. And for this, I'm going to want to view the stages. So now that I've selected stages, we need to add the stages that we want added to the pie chart. So some stages you might not want on there, but for this demo, I'm going to select every single stage. And then we cross off of that and we select the date. So you can filter by date range, which is nice, but obviously all of mine are today and created by anyone. So now if we click update there, now we should have a nice pie chart where you've got the numbers around the edges as well. So now this is a clear indication that my customer purchase is obviously huge. I can check my no answers, that's the green. So it's just a very nice visual way of seeing what stages everyone's at, or every stage of your workflow is at. Like I say, we can switch between different views, so depending what you like. And also even within the performs section, the workflow, so you select the workflow, so even within this section you can filter by stage. So for example, I can have a look at the customers I've got to call back, and I can look at the products I need to send, and I can view all stages. So there's loads of views, and there's also different settings here. So like I say, you can rename things, you can add members. So at the moment I don't have any team members. So if I wanted to add team members, I go down to the bottom, I select my workplace settings, I select members, and then this is where I can simply add a member, and you have 4 different roles to choose from, and you would just send them, it would just send them an email, they would accept it, and then you'd be able to start adding them in and assigning them tasks. This is also where you delete a workflow. So you would go onto workflow, you would deactivate it, and then it would allow you to delete it. So you delete that within your workspace settings. That took me a little while to find that actually. You also have a tasks tab. So at the moment I haven't actually assigned anything to me, but if I had, I'd have all my tasks here so I can see what I've got to do. And you can also see your leads here and everything that's been happening. So it sort of shows you the stage it's at. So for example, if I was to click onto Kieran, I can see it's gone from cold call to customer to purchase, and you can click directly into that. You can see the timeline, and again you can then move that through to the next stages, which would then be send them the product and email them a review request. So that's it for the overview of Goodflow.io. I hope it's helped you get a better understanding of how everything sort of works together. If you're not currently using it, there is a deal on AppSumo at the moment where it's $49 for a lifetime account. So I do have an affiliate link there in the description, so I'd appreciate it if you could click that link. And this is also my first video for this channel, so if you wouldn't mind liking the video, possibly commenting on your thoughts of this video, and also subscribe. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.